Hey everyone, today I'm at Starkey Wilderness Park, Newport Richey, Florida. I'm heading out for another solo overnighter, a backpacking trip to the primitive campsite. Today I'm going to campsite number 1. This is actually the first site I ever tried in Florida. It was my first experience backpacking, primitive camping, and I think it was also the first video I shot 3 or 4 years ago. So I love this place. It is spring break. It's 83 degrees. Our beaches are wide open here in Florida and everyone is flocking to them. A lot of traffic heading up. So I want to get away from that. I want to head the other direction. So my goal is to show you a little bit of what this campsite is like, what it's like getting out there, what this park is like, in case you ever want to try it. For these campsites, you do need to check in at the kiosk at the main entrance. They'll give you a parking pass that you use here at the horse corral. Lots of trails at this park, a little bit for everyone, and they are all mapped very well and marked very well. You do have to pay attention though, just because there are so many trails. It's easy to get on the wrong one. I think it's a little over 3 miles out to site number 1. I'll put the real mileage right here. And it's a pretty easy hike. You know, we're in Florida, very flat. The trail conditions do change quite a bit though. Right now it's pretty hard packed, easy walking. But later on, you get in some sugar sand. That's a little more difficult, no big deal. So like I said, I did a video on this campsite before. That was one of my first trips ever. So I will repeat some stuff, I'm sure, but I'll also hopefully give you a little more information and a little more insight to what this is like. I had no clue what I was doing that time, and now I kind of have a clue of what I'm doing. But beautiful day, should be a great trip. It's only supposed to get down to about 65 tonight. I was hoping it'd be a lot cooler, but can't complain about that. Here's the soft sugar sand I was talking about. It's kind of like walking on the beach. If you stay to the edges, it's a little more packed and easier for hiking. You'll come to this intersection here. These are where some of the loops lead back to the cabin area and the regular campground area. You just want to keep heading out. You'll see. Follow the orange blazes, follow the signs. So when you get here, there's another loop that'll take you back to the main park, or you can go down here, check out this little lake, or you can keep going up there and the primitive campsite trail will continue. We're gonna head down this way. So like I said, there are a lot of trails here. Besides all the hiking trails, there's some great mountain biking trails, as great as you can have in a flat setting. There's a paved biking trail that extends pretty far, and a lot of people come here to do that. And there are 3 primitive campsites. I always stay at number 1 or number 3. Both are beautiful, both are great for hammock camping or tent camping. But number 2 is right along that paved bike trail. And that's, to me, that doesn't make any sense if you are out here just to get away and experience nature and be away from people. So unless you're a bike camper, I wouldn't recommend number 2. Stick to number 1 or 3. About 1 mile in, and about half of it's been in this sand so far. But I don't think it lasts much longer. So these days YouTube really wants you to focus on one topic per channel. Sorry, I don't do that. My channel's been around for a while and I've used it for all kinds of things. I just kind of share what I do in life. I'm an elementary PE teacher, so I have some of that on here, some activities that other teachers could use. I'm an online fitness coach, so I have a lot of our programs and informational videos on this channel about what home workout program would be right for you or whoever, depending on your goals, what equipment you have, that type of thing. And then I do some of this stuff. Some hiking, kayaking, mountain biking. You know, I'm by no means an expert. I don't do it that much. And I'm not looking to get sponsored or get 1 million subscribers. I'm just hoping that I can help a few people that might be thinking about going to these specific sites, these specific parks. I just want to give you some information, give them some information that will help them make an informed decision on if they want to go there, what they need to prepare for, what they need to bring, and what they can expect from these primitive campsites that I go to. So if you found me through PE or fitness and you're still watching, thank you. This is who I really am. Whoops. You kind of have to pay attention here. This is where the loop splits. Sites 1 and 2 are that way. If you're going to site 3, you would go that way. It just makes one giant loop. Like I said, site 3 is great too. We're going to continue on to site 1 after I have a little break. I can't tell if that's focused or not, but we're just about 2 miles in, and that's where that split is. It's at trail marker number 8. And of course, I always recommend bringing a hard copy of a map as well. I've seen several that exist, and first time out here, you're going to want the one that has all of the trail markers listed. Like I said, that was trail marker number 8, so when you're coming up to it, you'll know how far you have to go if you're looking on that map. I didn't bring a printed copy today, but I do have the file saved offline on my phone if I ever need it. But it is pretty much straightforward getting out here. So let's talk wildlife for a minute. You are out in the wilderness. There are some things to be cautious of. You will probably see wild hogs out here. I haven't seen any yet today, but I've been out here 6 or 7 times, and every time I've seen some. Usually they scurry away from you. I did have one large one come into my camp one time, and he didn't want to leave. So, don't let that scare you. Just be prepared for it and be ready that it could possibly happen. I've seen lots of deer out here. I've seen coyotes. You will definitely hear coyotes. I have every single time I've stayed here at night. The only 2 problems I've ever come close to having, or did have, was I did get chiggers. And if you've ever had chiggers, they will make you miserable, and you don't know that they got you until the next day at least. So that's why I'm wearing long pants, and I do have bug spray on. Just be aware of that. And then one time, last time I was here, in fact, I almost stepped on a rattlesnake. They blend in very well with the wilderness floor, so just watch your steps. I was off trail. I think I was getting firewood or something, but watch your step, but don't let that scare you. This is beautiful. You got to live, and with living comes some inherent risks, but get out here and enjoy it. Another nice little rest area. On the way back, you always know it's close when you see the power lines. Since I mentioned the bike trails before, and we were just talking about wildlife, I first came to this place to ride the mountain bike trails, and I didn't feel like going all the way back. So there is a shortcut. There's a road that goes down there along the power lines. I don't know if you can see. It gets pretty wet over there, but we're in the dry season now. This was during the rainy season, the summer, and the road was a little flooded, but it only looked, I don't know, 6 inches deep. So I just started pedaling through it, and about 10 feet into that, I almost ran over the tail of a large gator. The water was dark, and he was submerged. It was deeper than I thought in that spot, and the rest of his body was kind of in the weeds over there, so I didn't see him. I'm just glad he was facing the way he was, otherwise I would have been right by his face. I'm not trying to freak anyone out here. It's beautiful. It's an awesome place, but you are in the wild. Just past those power lines, and this is my favorite part of the trail. It's just beautiful. It's quite possible this is my imagination because that thing runs wild, but it seems like there are a lot more blazes on the trail than there was last time I was here. And it seems to me when I was doing my research years and years ago, that was one of the complaints. So looks like they definitely fixed that, because they are everywhere. This could be my last Florida trip until October or November. I shut it down in the warmer months. I'm not that gung-ho. It's starting to heat up quite a bit. Again, make sure you follow the blazes. And I head out of here for June and July, and I spend time in the north woods of Wisconsin and enjoy that beauty. So we'll see. I might do one more in April, but I'm out of here come early June. All right, here we are, primitive campsite 1. It says it was 3.4 miles from my parking spot. Plus I went down and looked at that pond a little bit, so not quite that far. This is different. Last time I came in from a different direction, so this is interesting. I'm not sure how I did that. It's been a few years. This actually looks like a new way in. Oh yeah, this definitely was not here before. That was not there before. This is completely different than the campsite number 1 I've been at. This is a completely different site. And I will double check that just to make sure I haven't lost my mind. But it looks nothing like the site I was at before. Completely different setting, and everything looks new. So I think they changed some things around here at the park. But same setup, grill, picnic table, fire ring with a grill, bike rack, I guess. But this is a much more beautiful setting. There's more shade, it's more secluded, and I wasn't losing my mind. I did come in on the other side of the trail. So I believe the old site's over there somewhere on the other side of the trail. But yeah, so there was a reason why I was seeing more markings. Let's take a closer look. So this new number 1 is much better than the site I thought I was hiking to. So what a pleasant surprise. All right, all set up with the Hammock Drummer XL again. Last few trips I've used a tent, so I'm back in the deluxe hammock tonight. It is not lightweight, guys. I know people always ask that. It's the whole setup with tarp and everything is over 7 pounds. So if you're a through hiker or you put in a lot of miles, it's probably not for you. My trips are usually short, under 5 miles, and usually one night, so it works great for me. The last few times I was just flipping and flopping in it and sliding around, so I went with the tent. But the hammock itself is awesome. That's just my own personal problem that I couldn't sleep. But what a great sight. So I did add these new poles here that you get from Hammock. I think they're $15, and they send them over. You know, instead of, you used to have to find a stick that was the right size, and then it would snap in the middle of the night, and it was kind of a hassle. So I'm glad they added those. They weigh next to nothing. Going with my hammock gear, 30-degree quilt. Yes, it's hot out, but it's the only one I have right now, and kind of want to test it. You know, I tested it in cold temperatures, see how it did. Now I want to see, you know, if it'll work, if I can keep it ventilated and make myself comfortable with it tonight. I also have the Helinox Chair Zero. This thing's pretty awesome. Another great addition. I'll put all the specs and everything in the description and where you can get one. But, you know, I'm 6'3", about 210 these days, and it holds me fine. I'm comfortable in it. Let's do a little exploring. Just perfect. This new site, it's just so much better. I don't know how to describe it, but you have more shade. It's more cleared out. It's just a better setting. All right, it's about 4:30. Had a little snack. I'm gonna head out, just kind of explore. Just out walking around a bit. Campsite I'm staying at, new #1 is over there, and you make a right-hand turn right here, 90-degree turn, right there. And I know that this is where the old campsite used to be on, so I'm curious to see if they kept it or if they took that #2 and moved it over here because it was so close to the bike trail. So we'll find out in a little bit. So I did cheat a little bit. I looked at the new map that I had a picture of and compared it to my old map, and they definitely moved campsite #1. It used to be, this used to be the spur trail to it, and just in 2 years you can see how overgrown it's become. But campsite used to be back there, and that was between markers 19 and 20, I believe, around there. And the new site where I'm at now, where I am set up, is between markers 13 and 14. So glad I brought my camera this time, because that's an important change if you're used to coming out here. It's definitely going to be closer. As far as I know, this wasn't here last time either. All right, so I guess that's the river overlook. Not much to it. It's the Antclote River. Imagine in the summer it comes all the way up here. But it's closed for now.
So for a musical analogy, it acts as an amplifier. They found that, quote, happy music made happy faces seem even happier, while sad music exaggerated the melancholy of a frown. A similar effect.
All right, beautiful morning here. I'm all packed up, ready to go. But before I head out, I wanted to go over a few more things about this site. It's a beautiful site. I love it. Another great primitive camping site in Florida. I've been on a roll lately with finding these. You do need to make a reservation online, and you need to do that several weeks in advance. Usually they fill up pretty quickly, so I will leave a link for that below. Make sure you make that reservation online. I believe with fees and everything it came to $10.26, something like that. Obviously well worth it. And also, I love the change that they made. They moved campsite number 1 to this new location. I'm going to give you one last look around before I leave. But it was a great move, great decision by them. And number 1, the old number 1 was a nice site. This is much better, and it's a more enjoyable experience. And speaking of enjoyable experiences, I didn't have one last night. Once again, I could not sleep, and last night was the worst. I think if you add it all together, maybe I slept 2 hours, maybe. And you know, I have the Cadillac of hammocks, they say, and I just can't sleep in a hammock, I guess. That's just the way it is. That's just me. I was miserable all night, tossing, turning, uncomfortable, aches, pains here and there from just not being in a comfortable position, I guess. So I am going back to the ground, and I would like your recommendations for a lightweight backpacking tent. It doesn't have to be ultralight. I usually don't go that far. And also, if you could give me recommendations for a sleeping pad. I prefer an inflatable sleeping pad. I would appreciate that too. Keep in mind that I am 6'3", so I do need plenty of room in that tent, usually a 2-person tent. And I need a sleeping pad that comes in extra long and extra wide. All right, I'm going to give you another look around at this place before I leave. But as always, I appreciate it, and take care. We'll see you on the next one.